Welcome back for episode 6 of Following Freak Show, a show dedicated to discussing last night's episode of American Horror Story Freak Show. I'm your moderator, Perry Nemiroff, and here are our panelists.
Hi, I'm Alexis Sarala.
Hi, I'm Meg Patterson.
Hi, I'm Sash Capelli.
All right, so in episode 6, Bullseye, it's revealed that Paul's got a little something going on with the Candy Striper from episode 1, and then that relationship leads him to uncover a good deal of crazy stuff about Elsa. And meanwhile, Maggie and Stanley are busy trying to bag a freak to send off to that museum in Philadelphia. But we're going to begin with our former scene stealer, who now just rocked his first starring episode, Paul. Sasha, do you want to start with that?
Sure. It was nice. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with this episode because a lot of it really bugged me, and we'll probably get to that, but Paul is just so pleasing. Like, I just love he's so swaggy, man. So I wasn't surprised to see when him and Elsa were hooking up on Elsa's birthday. Like, that's a nice treat to give yourself, is, like, sexy little Paul just, like, in your bed, smooching up on you. Of course, she gets the treats. So they're having a little thing, and it's fine, but of course he's a good-looking bro. So we find out that he actually has feelings for somebody else and buys them gifts, and he goes into town, and we find out that he is actually in love with the Candy Striper, and they love each other even though, like, her father's against it. It was a nice little, like, thread throughout the episode to, like, see Paul's life and how he lives outside of the freak show, and even that he lives outside of the freak show, we had no idea. So finally everything comes to, like, a head when Elsa suspects Paul of cheating because she smells the perfume on him, and it's like a very public fight about how she doesn't trust him, and he's like, well, you probably got rid of the twins or whatever, and she's like, nobody trusts me, and then proceeds to act like a crazy, untrustworthy jerk.
The whole wheel thing was a bit of a stretch. I mean, I get she was pissed off because, like, she thinks her freaks don't trust her, but who just, like, busts out a wheel and is like, I don't like you, so you have to go on the wheel, and I won't settle for anything less.
Right. Well, also, there's so many more of them than her. Why do they let her get away with it? I don't like, that's some psychological blackmail she's got on them.
It really is.
Himself too. He just jumps right after. Oh, it should be coming.
I kind of liked that about him, though.
Me too.
I don't know, it just speaks to his ethics and how much he cares for the freaks. Because, I mean, this is probably just me projecting on that character, but I feel like deep down he kind of knows that he can't just usurp her. I think, does someone actually say something along those lines in the next episode? I think it might have been Bet and Dot, where, like, they can't come out with the truth or it'll tear everyone apart, something along those lines. But I feel like if Elsa just kind of, like, lost it, the whole freak show might fall apart. But then again, I kind of want to see the day where Ethel takes over.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's like everybody, I mean, we just fell in love with Paul this whole episode, like, along with the Candy Striper. And we really were, I mean, I was, like, Team Paul. And, of course, we knew something bad was going to happen because, whatever, it's, like, what happens in the show. So, like, seeing him get stabbed was not, like, I was like, I should be more upset about this, but, like, the way it happened was, like, so extraordinary and, like, a little unnecessary that I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, and he's fine. So, like, I'm glad I didn't get so worked up about it, because I mean, thank God, he's okay. I would have been upset if she killed him. That's true. But the fact that she didn't, it was kind of anticlimactic.
Well, she didn't yet.
Yeah.
That actually played really well with the Ma Petite stuff, because the whole time with her, I'm like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? She's really going to do it. But then, like, it doesn't happen. But with him, you're watching as she throws the knives, and is it going to hit? And then it actually does. So
And then Elsa,
that's what kept me on edge a little more.
Right, and then Elsa's evil grin right before she was like, it was an accident.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right.
Jesus sucks. It was also awesome that Paul, it's about time someone figures this shit out. And he really did. You see him, like, connect the dots. He spots Dandy, he looks at the shit, he's like, no way, you're not going to pull one over on me. And he starts figuring all of this out. And, like, we're a step ahead with all of this. So it's very satisfying when a character actually is smart enough to do that. And I'm glad it was Paul who got to do that.
Me too.
One more quick Elsa question, though. does I mean does how does she does he know that she has no legs in bed? Like that's I was trying to because it looked like she was wearing her prosthetics under the covers, but he must
have a long gown on.
That's like a really obvious question that didn't even cross my mind.
Me either. I never thought of it.
I was even thinking, I keep thinking of her as an amputee or whatever, but I didn't even think of that while they were doing it. Like, did he know it? Did he happen to notice?
I mean, I would assume he would notice.
You think so?
All right, on that note, let's shift the conversation over to Elsa. I mean, she's feeling a bit like a broken record to me, but Meg, what do you think about what she's doing in this episode?
She's pissing me off because she's all over the place. I mean, one minute we're starting to feel bad for her. She had a sister, and then she kind of talks down to Ethel. Well, she doesn't really talk down to Ethel, but, I mean, they set her up to be like the mother, and she almost looks like she's about to cry, and she's saying, these are my babies, these are my people, my family, and then the next minute she's saying, my monsters, you're not leaving until one of you proves that I can or you can trust me and that you love me. So I don't really understand where they're going with her unless she just flies off the hook again and starts throwing shit at people. But I don't know. I'm not really comfortable with what they're doing with her. And
she's just doing the same shit over and over. It's like, how many times can you play that game? They already did it with Mordrake, you know? They had her, like, beg for her life, and then she turned around and screwed her freaks over again. She did the same exact thing here. And if she doesn't learn anything from stabbing Paul, like, come on. That's the end of the character to me. Then they either have to make her a full-blown villain or... I mean, I don't think you can go back from some of the things she's done at this point.
Well, that's what they did with that last line. They were like, I just want to be loved. So then it pulls you right back in. You're like, oh, she's human still, maybe. So
I don't know, but she's just all of her little, you know, her comments to Paul about he can be her chauffeur when she has a regular man. And
she is so delusional. It's like, it's painful to watch her.
It really
talk about this TV crap.
And it's like, it's not even like I feel bad for her. I'm like, you know what? Somebody fucking take her away, put her on TV, like dip her in acid. I don't care what you have to do. But I wish all those fantasies that were playing out, killing the freaks during the kidnapping sequences. Like, I wish she was involved. Like, I wish they were dipping her and closing her in formaldehyde instead of Monty tea. Like,
not that this would work, but that would kind of be a nice payoff if for some reason Stanley and Maggie ended up taking Elsa and shipping her off. I mean, she doesn't classify maybe as the kind of freak that they want in that museum, so I guess it wouldn't work unless there's something we don't know about her. But
true freak, though. I mean, her and Dandy are like the freaks of the whole. No, they're not.
I still love Dandy, though.
He's just so much. I don't know why. He's more like shrieky, but I love him to death.
There's something about him. I think it's more Finn Wittrock's performance than anything. I saw it right that time, and he's just mesmerizing. Every time he opens his mouth, I'm fascinated to see like the tone of voice he uses, what he's gonna say, when he's gonna throw his little fits, and when he's gonna be nice. It was kind of, for a split second, even though he's done like the most heinous things all throughout the season. When he was, like, being all, you know, like, nice and gentleman-like to Bet and Dot, I was buying it for a second. When they touched hands, I'm like, you know, maybe she'll change him.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Clearly not.
No.
Well, it was also, like, I think his acting was so good, like, in that drugstore scene, how he acted like a completely different type of person, you know, yelling at the druggist and whatever. I thought that was great.
Yeah, he's the best.
All right, let's move on to this whole loyalty and trust issue thing, because that seemed to be in a lot of segments of this episode. Alexis, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, we already touched on, you know, Elsa yelling at all of them and making them prove their loyalty to her with the wheel. But we had also the loyalty of Dandy feeling betrayed by Bet and Dot when he read their diaries, or at least he read Dot's diary, which was not very nice to him. But it's also interesting the loyalty between the sisters. Like, I feel like Bet has no idea that her sister wants to chop her off and live on her own and kill her. And then
gotta know, though.
She knows deep down, I'm sure. But then also the loyalty of Emma Roberts. Her name's Maggie, I believe. Yeah, and why is she? What does he have over her? Why is she willing to kill these freaks? I mean, obviously she's had a change of heart now, but I'm just curious. It's so much. So many of these characters are being like emotionally blackmailed by these, you know, evil or bad people, and I want to know what's going on there.
I'm really eager to see what's going on between Stanley and Maggie, because I mean that's some pretty intense things he's got her doing, and like, if she had killed Ma Petite, I would have lost my mind.
Oh my god! And like just seeing the fantasy about it, or like that was enough for me to be like, nope. Like you cannot do this way. You can't. And the fact that she can go there and like just like go there and it means she's probably a little fucked up, just like the rest of them. But I really kind of like seeing her try and get out of it. Like all these past couple of episodes, she's been really in earnest, trying her best not to do the shit that she's been asked to do. So I kind of like seeing that because it's a little bit of a moral compass. It's not like Elsa where I can't even buy it anymore because she's so ridiculous. So I like that part of her character, but that's a good, I didn't even think, like, I don't know why, like, he's got to have some crazy leverage over her, like, something insane.
Maybe he's her father or something.
I was going to say, yeah, something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I have another question for you guys, because I picked up on this, like, random little thing when, I think it's Elsa says that Pepper's own, was it her sister?
Mm-hmm.
Sister didn't even want her. What if the sister is Sister Mary Eunice? I
was thinking
and then she goes back in episode 10.
Could be. Take her to the asylum.
That would definitely call for a cameo, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would be about that life. See, that would make me satisfied. I would be like, you know what? All that suffering through Elsa was for something.
It's a smart connection, too. It's something that's kind of, it feels a little organic and actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's move on to our rapid fire section, the point in the show where we get to discuss what we're looking forward to most in the episodes to come. And I'm actually not going with Dandy this time around, and I'm going to say Ethel, because even though she was on Elsa's side since day one, which I found pretty damn ridiculous, there's just something so authentic about the character and about Kathy Bates' work. So when she said that line at the end, she said, I'll tell you one thing, if I ever find out you were lying and did wrong by those girls, I'll kill you with my own two hands. I'm just like, shit, you got this, and I want to see what you're going to do next, because I bet you crazy things are going to go down with that character in the next few episodes, because I don't think Elsa's going to, get on the right path anytime soon, and Ethel at this point is not going to take her shit, so I can't wait to see what she does to stop her. Sasha, what do you got for us?
I will, take your Dandy. I can't wait. Dandy I loved him. I love him usually, and sometimes I'm like, okay, stop screaming. But this episode just showcased so many, facets of his character. I was like, oh my god, he's not going to hurt the twins. I love that about him. He didn't treat them like pets. He didn't treat them like freaks. He treated them like how he wanted to be treated. Fucking love that. But he felt, and I felt betrayed for him. Dot was kind of being I don't know, I didn't really like her attitude, even though she was being used as whatever. I wanted him to be happy. So the fact that he wasn't as usual, he just has to accept his status in life. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how if and when the twins will be mutilated. It's been kind of leading up to the whole thing has been leading up to that. So I'm interested to see what Dandy does with the twins.
All right, Meg, what you got?
I hate to say it, but I don't trust that Paul's going to make it, and whether or not it's Elsa's woundage that kills him or it's the crazy dad of the candy striper that comes after him, we saw so much of him that somebody I was watching it with mentioned, that they're going to kill him off. They developed his character into this great thing, and they're just going to kill him off because that's what American Horror Story does. So sad to see that happen.
I was thinking the same exact thing, and it was killing me.
I know. But, I want to see what happens with Paul and the Candy Striper and the dad next week, because that actor that plays the dad's kind of a big deal, so he's not leaving anytime soon.
All right, Alexis, how about you?
Well, I missed having Desiree and Dell in this episode, so I'm curious to see when they come back, or where they've been, why they wouldn't interfere with the
straight after.
But also, if it's going to be, are the freaks going to rise up against Elsa? Are they going to rise up against Dell? I feel like there's some big battle coming, and I'm curious to see. I'm also curious to see have more of the other freaks have a focus episode, like the way we saw Paul in this episode. Would be great.
I like that idea. So now that's a wrap on Following Freak Show, Episode 6. Don't forget to keep an eye out for new episodes the day after every episode of American Horror Story airs on Collider and also on our YouTube channel, Shock Till You Drop. And we love reading your comments, so keep leaving them in the comment section below, and maybe we'll discuss your topics and ideas on the next episode. So thank you guys so much for following Freak Show with us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.